Hello guys, so in this video today I want us to go through how to download GNS3 and have it set up in our machines so that you can be able to use it to emulate whatever network topologies that you want for your testings before you can actually deploy whatever you have in a live network situation. So the first thing that we need to do is come to VMware Workstation Player, because that's the emulator that we are going to use. So you click on download VMware, and then the next thing you want to do is scroll down to where it says try workstation 16.0 for Windows. Then you click on download now. It's starting to download. I'm going to cancel mine for now because I already have it downloaded, so let me cancel that. Then the next thing that you want to do is you need to come to the GNS3 website, then click on that first link over there, then come and click on free download. So guys, once you click on that, you don't want to download these. These are not the right files. The right file that you need to download is the one which is down here, which is download the GNS3 VM. You click on that, and then the next thing that you want to download is the VMware Workstation and Fusion. This file over here, you click on that. I also have that downloaded. And so let's now go to the next step. So the next step that you need to go to is you now need to install the VMware that you downloaded. So here is mine, so let's start installing it. It's going to take a bit of some time, maybe a minute or so. So let's wait for it to finish up the installation process. Preparing to install. So what you need to do is just click on next, accept the license terms, next, next. I don't want to join the customer experience program. I'm going to uncheck that, then click next, next, then install. So this is also going to take a bit of a minute or two. And usually what when you're installing the VMware Workstation, what it does is that it also installs some extra network adapters on your machine, and that is a normal behavior that it does. So let us give it a minute so that the installation is complete. So after the installation of the VMware is done, we are now going to go to import our GNS to the VMware station. It's done. So what you need to do is just click on finish, and then we now need to open up that VMware Workstation. So it's already on your desktop, so you just double click so that it opens up. Yes, there it is. So it's opened up. So the next thing that you want to do is you want to add your virtual machine, and your virtual machine is now going to be your GNS3. So what we need to do is come and click on open a virtual machine, Then this is the VMware that I downloaded, the GNS3 VM that I downloaded. So you just click on that and let it install. So what we are going to do is just import, and it's now importing GNS3 VM. Let's also give it a minute so that it does that. It's a relatively large file, that's why it's taking a bit of time. It's almost done. Yes, there it is. It's done. So you can see our GNS3 VM has already now been added to our VMware Workstation. So the next thing that you want to do is make some few editing here. So these are the default values that it comes with, but these values you can change them depending on your physical machine's capabilities and what it has. So basically it's the value that it comes with is 2 MBs, 2000 MBs as it is. Maybe I'm going to change these to 4, give it more memory. I'm going to change these maybe to 2, and these you can just change them according to your physical machine properties. So I'm going to leave it as that, and then I'm going to click OK. So after that I'm going to say play virtual machine. So let's wait for the virtual machine to load up. Let it boot up. There it is, it's booting up. The following software is available for download: VMware tools for Linux. We'll download that later because we don't need that right now. The workstation is booting up. Just a minute so that it finishes up the process. Yep, there it is. So as you can see, we already have an IP address. So this is the IP address that we are going to use to access our GNS3 through a web UI. So we need to take note of this IP. So the next thing that we need to do is now come to our browser and input that IP. Let's see what IP was that again. 192.168.65.128. yeah, so that is what we need to input on our browser: 192.168.65.128. enter, and there we are. A very simple process to do, and now we are on the GNS3 web interface. So this is a blank project, so let us add our first project. So we can maybe say add blank project, let's give it a name. Maybe we can call this project 001. That is just a name, you can give it your own. Then add project, and there it is. So our project has opened up, and from this you can now be able to add the devices that you'd want to use. So how to add a device? You just need to come to add. They are called nodes on GNS3, so you click on the add sign. So maybe we can add a PC, a virtual PC. We can add a second virtual PC. Maybe we can add an Ethernet switch. Yep. So after adding that, maybe we can try and see if these things are able to communicate to each other. So we are going to maybe add a link in between them. So Ether 0 will go to PC2 on Ether 0, and Ether 2 from the switch will go to PC on Ether 0 as well. So, and what you now need after you've added your nodes or your devices, you need to start them up. From the map topology, you can see PC1, PC2 are in red. So how to start everything up? You just need to come and click here, and all the devices are started. So you can see the status here has now changed to green. So we can come to the web console of PC1. There it is. We are already in PC1. We can maybe give it an IP, let's say 172.10.10. Maybe 2, with an subnet of 125.255.0, and it's added. So we can also come to the console of the second PC, and you'll notice that it opens that on a new tab. We can also give this an IP of say 172.20.20.2 with a subnet of 255.255.255.0. Enter. Yep, it has now the two pieces now have their IP thing. That is how you add your PCs to the working environment that you now need to have. And now I want us now to go through how we can now add a MikroTik cloud hosted router to your. So after doing that, guys, so what you want to do now, we now want to add a MikroTik router here, and this is going to be a CHR. This is a cloud hosted router, and the first thing that we need to do is come to the MikroTik downloads page, and you need to scroll down to where it says cloud hosted router. And the file that we want to download is this raw disk image. Personally, I usually prefer to go with the stable version because this one has been tested. So you need to download this. I've already downloaded mine. It's a zip file. Then you'll need to extract that zip file. Then we can upload it to our GNS3. So what you need to do is you come back to your project. You need to come back to the main menu, come and go to preferences, then we need to click on the Qmu, then say add Qmu Vm Template. So we are going to run this virtually, this VM locally. You click on that. Then we need to come and give it a name. So maybe let's just give it a name like MikroTik. This is just you can give it any name that you choose. Then after that you need to come and select these figures are okay. The console type remains that. So now let's choose the image that we downloaded. So we need to come and say new image, then browse. I think I have it on my downloads. Let's view all files. So here it is, it was downloaded, then I extracted it. So here it is. Then we say add template. So there it is, our image has already been uploaded successfully. So guys, the next thing that you want to do is we can now customize our MikroTik. So you will click on that, let it open up. Then you can come to the general settings. You can also change the name from here. So let's scroll down. Basically what I want to do here is I want to add the number of ports that I want from my MikroTik. Currently the default is set at 4. I want this to be, let's say, 10. And basically just save that. So that has already been saved. So we can now go back to our project. So guys, after that we can now come to add a node, and you can now see that our MikroTik router is here. Basically what I usually do is let's change the symbol. We can be able to change the symbol. Let me just search here router, and let's search for maybe any symbol that we'd want to use for our MikroTik router. There's quite a number. Yeah, let's pick this. Let's pick that and apply. So you can see it's now changed. So guys, we can now access this MikroTik router from Winbox, and basically before you access it before Winbox, GNS3 offers you the cloud here, because without this you can't access it through Winbox. So you need to have that cloud there. Then we need to have a link between the two. So this is Ether 0 and it goes to Ether 0. Then we can also connect it to our switch. Ether 1 goes to Ether 2 of the switch. The next thing that we need to do is we need to start the MikroTik router. We are going to click on that so that it's started. So we can now access it through our Winbox, neighbors. Let's refresh and wait for it to appear. There it is. So we are just going to click on the MAC address. The password is by default empty. And there we are inside now our first MikroTik router. It requires us to input a new password. So let's just use 1234. 1234. Of course, that's not a good password to use for your network. This is just for explanation purposes. So let's change that. And it's changed. So we are already inside our MikroTik router, which is the CHR. We can also go into the console. It's asking us to log in, admin. The password that we created was 1234. Software license, you accept that. And we can see that we are already inside the MikroTik console. So we can maybe give it a name. Maybe we can say system identity set name. Maybe we can say core router. There's an error. Yeah, let's just leave it as core. And when we come back to our Winbox, you can now be able also to see that the name has changed from here. So we can also be able to add a second and a third or a fourth MikroTik router if you want to. So we'll get to that. Add that. Let's change this symbol. We say router. This is what we are using. Apply. Yeah, there's a way in which you can be able just to change the symbol once and for all. I'll come back to that. So let's start this. MikroTik as well. So as it is, we can't connect to this second MikroTik just like that. And for us to be able to connect to it through Winbox, MikroTik has offered a Roman protocol that we can use to connect to it. So what we'll need to do is we'll need to activate to enable Roman on this first router. Then we'll also need to enable Roman on this second router right here. So let's go to the second router, to the web console. Admin, enter. The license is we're going to accept to that, and then we can just press on Q so that we pass all that. So it's also asking us to enable to input a new password, and you can see now for the second MikroTik we are working on it through the console. So the password we are going to use is also just going to be 1234. Enter. It's asking us to repeat the password 1234. Enter, and the password has been changed. So we can also change the identity for this. We can maybe say system identity set name. Maybe we can say this is a remote site. Maybe we can say site 1. Enter, and the identity has been changed. So we need to enable Roman for the second router. How we do this through Roman through the console is by typing in tool Roman set enable, yes, enter, and it's enabled. So for the first MikroTik, let's do it through Winbox. All we need to do is you just need to come to tools, Roman, enable, okay. So we'll need to come to more, new Winbox, and then the password that we input was 1234. Then we now need to connect to Roman. Oh, and before we do that, let's also establish a link between the two MikroTik routers. So let's establish a link. This is going to be from Ether 2 to Ether 0 of that. So let's go to Winbox, and here it is. You can see the site is site 1, still CHR. So we can click on that address. The password is still the same, 1234, and connect. So guys, you can now be able to see that we are connected and we've logged into two of the MikroTik routers that we've added. And basically that is how you add devices. And now from this you can now be able to come up with complex topologies and do all the testings, network testings that you want, do all the configuration testings that you want, and it's a really helpful thing to have. So thank you guys for today. That's all. Please remember to subscribe and like this video. It really helps a lot. And thank you for your time today. Bye bye.